Afraid to have kids so I don't end up a company slave. Anyone else feel this way? 32-year-old male here. The thought of having children scares the hell out of me in this day and age. From all fears, expenses is one of the biggest ones, and from seeing how my friends with children are stuck in their jobs because they simply can't just leave, it scares me even more. I don't want a company having any power over me, and thus, I am very afraid of having children. I am getting engaged soon, so the thought has come up a lot recently. Thankfully the GF is 25 and isn't looking to become a mother anytime soon. Anyone else feel this way? Edit. As far as financial concerns go, it isn't only the costs of having kids that scares me. It's the notion that a corporation can let you go and hang you high and dry, while you rely on that dollar to feed your kids. That is very, very scary. Edit. A lot of fair points were made. This blew up, lol. I do talk to my GF about this. We are having discussions on this topic all the time. I want to point out, I don't only fear being a work slave due to kids, I am work slave already if you think about it. But losing a job is a fear, and if I lose a job and it's just me, so be it. I will survive. I cannot fathom that mentality with children involved. I do have a savings, I make decent money, and I own property, so I would like to add that as well. Seems like most people have the same rational fears as me though. Should companies pay workers for wasting time in traffic while commuting to work? I don't know is this right sub to ask this question, but I feel anger about this issue. The nature of my work is such that 99% of the time I can work from home, yet company allow us only to work twice per week from home. I waste half an hour getting ready for work in the morning, plus half an hour to get to work and half an hour to get back home. So that is 1,5 hours of wasted time per day, because companies still think that we need to go into office. Should we get paid for wasting our time in traffic? Edit, typo. After 5.5 years working for the same firm, I presented my case for a raise. Took them a month to finally say no. Today I gave my notice. Boss told me he knew I could leave and get a 20% raise with a competitor, but asked me to stick around with them until March, 6 months away, instead, without promise of the same raise, and we could talk about it again then. Stick around, for what? Goodbye. Face with steam from nose. I find it disgusting how commonplace it is for companies to just totally ghost prospective employees who interviewed with them. Anyone who puts in the time, energy, and effort into preparing for and attending an interview at least deserves to be notified of your decision to go a different direction. I've been on the job hunt for a few months now, and I can tell you that it's exceptionally rare for a company to bother letting you know they found another candidate. And it makes me so angry. I've had several interviews where I got the sense that I wasn't going to get the job. But I've also had a few, sometimes consisting of multiple interviews, where the interview seemed to go great. I felt confident, they seemed to really like me. They promised to follow up within the next few days, and then radio silence. I even tried to reach out by email after a while, thanking them for their time and asking for an update. Still nothing. I think I'm going to just start calling and essentially forcing them to give me a response. As an interviewee, there are all these expectations placed on me to look, act, and dress professionally. I spend a long time preparing for these interviews. And then I sacrifice my time and resources, currently without a car, so sometimes have to Uber to / from interviews, just for the chance to get to work there. And you can't even be bothered to send me a generic copy-paste email saying unfortunately we are moving in another direction. At least then I would know and would stop watching my hope / optimism fade away day by day as I realize I've been ghosted. Fuck companies that do this. I don't know if it's laziness or cowardice or both, but it shouldn't be tolerated. The older I get, the more I have observed. And what I've observed overwhelmingly is that the path to riches is to be a total sociopath. The idea of having to work until I'm 65 plus makes me wanna KMS. CW, suicide's foe. I'm currently job hunting after getting fired, unexpectedly, and it's been wild. How do people live while working so much? I mean, I've obviously been doing it since graduating high school, but all of this? 4 decades to come? That sucks. I can't imagine pretending to be passionate about some company for a few years. I'm of course exploring options like trades or going back to school to become certified in something, but doing the same thing over and over just to get paid and pay my bills makes me not want to live. I feel like I had this idealized version of working since being a child. I feel like college was BS and meant nothing despite working my ass off. I thought I could have some dream career, but those dreams are too expensive. I can barely get by right now. Also, in every job I've had, I was able to take time off, but could never afford vacations. So, I just work and unwind at home. That's it. Guess I'll work a job for a few years, leave once I can't stand it anymore, and repeat until I can, hopefully, retire. Yay, so fun! Work blocked this subreddit. So couple days ago I was in the break room looking through our subreddit and my manager asked what subreddit I was on, told him the anti-work subreddit and he asked me a couple questions about it and what it's for, so I showed him some posts. I came back from being off for 2 days and they have blocked this subreddit on the work internet. I can still go to my normal subreddits but this one won't load at all, and when I asked he said he had the admin block this subreddit and its contents. I got told by my manager that I only come to work for my paycheck. So some background, I work in the warehouse of a flooring company. It's a smaller company but really high-end. It's me and my manager who are the only people in the warehouse. I got hired to operate the forklift and receive shipments and prep material for installers. About 2 months after I got hired they fired someone in the office who did a lot of the paperwork side of the job. It's been 9 months and they still haven't hired someone, and guess who has to do 75% of what she did? Me, with my same pay. So I am overworked during my 40 hours a week 8-hour shifts with no lunch break in the FL heat. My manager constantly harps on me about the little things, like paperwork not being ready a week in advance or not telling him that something got scheduled at the last minute and he can't find something. So yesterday, after a heated discussion about some paperwork that he printed and he put together for a job that was going out, did not have the name of the product on it, which is somehow my fault because I should have told him, even though everything was fine. I had already checked it, but something could have gone wrong. So all this led to 45-minute talk about how I do a great job. But I don't do everything the way he used to do it, and that is a problem. It all ended with him saying, no offense, but there are 2 types of people who invest in the company like me. I work from home and sometimes a couple hours extra a day to get things done. And people like you who only come to work for a paycheck. You are always saying you don't have enough time to finish everything in the normal work day, but you could just stay later and finish everything that needs to be done. I almost burst out laughing. I got told I quit. It almost made the lecture worth it. So is anyone hiring? Because I need a new job. I'm tired of this BS. My 16-year-old dog passed away and my manager says that it shouldn't affect my performance. Does she think I'm not human? I hate it here. F Amazon. Any place that offers like $600 a month rent? I need a break from work. I'm breaking. Any ideas of where to move for a year or 2 with cheap rent, $600-ish a month? I seriously need a break, but I don't even know where to start looking. I could survive for a year or 2 if I had cheap rent. Started a job 3 weeks ago, walked out today. Yes, I have another job lined up. I was prepared to give my 2-week notice anyway, once I had gotten my better offer. I was going to give it today. But then the manager started making fun of my clothes. She told me her boss was coming today and my boss cannot see you in those jeans. For reference, my work week started on Tuesday. I showed up in jeans that have a small tear, about the size of a dime. I know I'm not allowed to wear ripped jeans, which she told me that day. I explained that I've been working for 3 full weeks without a paycheck and I haven't been able to afford to do laundry. Not until Friday, which would be my first payday. She said nothing in response. The following day, yesterday, I showed up in the same jeans. I have 2 other unripped pairs of jeans, but I had been wearing them intermittently for the past 3 weeks, getting oil, dirt, food, and gasoline on them. They were horribly dirty and totally unpresentable, way worse than a pair with a small tear anyway. The manager said nothing. Today, I walk into work wearing the same jeans again. Today is Thursday, and I get paid tomorrow. She threw a fit and said she warned me already. I of course told her again that I can't afford to wash my other jeans until she paid me. She then went into a rage and told me it was embarrassing and I should be able to afford a new pair of jeans for work. So I left. She has to work a 15-hour shift now. Open to close, because all her other employees literally quit earlier this week too. The turnover rate there is high for a reason. And it's her. I don't know about y'all, but I live paycheck to paycheck. And my entire paycheck goes toward groceries and bills. I don't buy junk food. I don't buy clothes. I have no leftover money after all my bills. People like her are so blind to the obvious poverty in their own town. Just because she gets 3,000 checks doesn't mean everyone does. Hell, I haven't even gotten a paycheck at all in nearly a month. And even if I had gotten one, I definitely wouldn't have any money left over for jeans. What to tell coworker who wants to join the Navy? I'm former Air Force, so they asked me for advice before they enlist. I told them that anything I have to say won't be good, and they told me that's what they want, considering all they know is what the recruiter said. So far all I said was to familiarize yourself with what the US military does and has done around the world before you decide to take part in it. I couldn't think of much else to say to them without getting all worked up thinking about my own service. Anybody have any good points to bring up? I keep just wanting to beg them not to enlist, but really I just want to help them make an informed decision. Thanks. I'm only 23, I'm burnt out, and every job sounds horrible. I graduated with my bachelor's in communications back in May. I basically chose this degree because I transferred schools and didn't have anything in particular that I was interested in, so my advisor said most of my credits would transfer for this program. I went with it because I was lucky enough that my parents were paying for most of my tuition, but the deal was that they would only pay for 4 years. So I did it in 4 years. I worked my ass off. I never took a summer break because I had to make up credits, and I worked 20+ hours a week the whole time because tuition was what they covered, everything else was on me, which is fine. I was just grateful to not have loans. Fast forward to now. I moved to a new city in late June. My husband is in flight school and the plan was for me to start working when we got here, obviously. But having 2 months of a break after graduating has been glorious. I was rested and happy and feeling healthier. I felt like I was recovering from years of really hard work. But it's been hard to find a job. The city we're in is growing a lot and the jobs are competitive. But the hardest part is that I don't even want the jobs that are interested in me. I have a final interview on next Wednesday for a marketing job and I'm almost certain they're going to offer me the job. I acted enthusiastic in the other 2 interviews and made it sound like this was a long-term plan for me because I'm desperate. I have no interest in marketing, and definitely not this particular industry. I feel so stuck. I'm not a lazy person. I've worked since I could drive a car. But just the thought of starting a job I have no interest in makes me sick to my stomach. I don't even want to talk about the jokes of salaries they offer for the positions I'm qualified for. How do I work through these emotions? It makes me so depressed I feel nauseous that I'm going to have to do this for the next 40-ish years. Anyone else kinda feel like most jobs out there are incapable of allowing you to support yourself, let alone a family? It's such BS. I'm in trouble if I'm late to work, but work isn't in trouble if they keep me late. Money is cool and all, but man, these shifts are long, and I'm always leaving 15 to 20 minutes late. I'm hungry and exhausted after dealing with people in a call center all day.